I've hated Lion and the King since I first saw it as a kid. I left the theater back then completely astounded by what Dingo Pictures has once done to their once flawless succession of film, and I predicted it would be a phenomenal flop. I mean, no one could actually like this film, right? What's there to like? Suffice it to say, I was completely wrong. The film was a huge hit, and even has a large fan base even to this day. I had never been so dumbfounded by a bad film's success before in my life, not even after Star Trek Generations. This film does not deserve any of the success or accolades it has received. It deserves to be completely ignored. Moreover, it should be ignored. Because when you make bad films popular, you give writers and studio executives the idea that you want to see bad films being made, and they're more often than likely to do so. So with this review, I am going to demonstrate how truly awful this film really is. I will demonstrate that with the possible exception of the animation, the film is otherwise irredeemable and just plain awful. What's that? What do you mean I got the wrong movie? Huh? What? What? Lion and the King is yet another rip-off movie, but thankfully this time it's not from Spank Play Entertainment, so no Uncanny Valley CGI this time around. No, instead we get what looks like a child's drawing that their parents put on the fridge. The studio that put this out was Dingo Pictures, which of course is located in Australia. I mean Germany. Same thing, right? The point is that it wasn't done by Americans this time. And yes, I know, it's another rip-off movie. I've been doing them a lot as of recently, but you can't blame me for doing this one. It's another poorly animated movie featuring lions and other such jungle creatures. It's a thing that seems to be popping up a lot recently in my videos. First it was Joshua and the Promised Land, then Leo the Lion, and now this. A German rip-off of Disney's Kimba the White Lion from 2019. I'm pretty sure that's correct, right? Meh. Why even bother getting things right and researching things for a video? That's too much work, and I'm no cartoon nerd like certain other people on this channel. Let's just get this over with. This is Dingo Pictures' Lion and the King.
You remember the Black Panther who gained power in the jungle?
No I don't. Why are you stating this as a fact that I would know when I clearly don't know?
And it was the animals owed it to little Robin's cleverness that...
Are these creatures inebriated or something? Because they clearly flubbed that line there. Then again, it was made in Germany, so for all we know, maybe they were. The story proper begins by showing us two monkeys annoying a hippo as they argue over what time it is. It doesn't mean much, nor does it go anywhere, so let's move past it. Let's instead focus on a lion father watching his son run after a crocodile. And just like the rest of the stellar voice acting we've had so far, the father sounds like he just ran a marathon and is trying to catch his breath.
Look at that. My son is hunting other animals. You were supposed to watch him so that he doesn't get up to any nonsense. Bring him back.
But it's okay, because his son, who is voiced by a woman who's not even trying to do a young boy's voice, like, say, Junior Asparagus, for example, was attempting to play a game with his friend, an Australian alligator named Dundee. Okay, I'm one for bad puns, but that was pretty bad.
Joke here, joke there, I don't like it. Finished. Play another game. Okay?
No, even though we're watching the English dub of this movie, I am more than convinced that all 2 or 3 voice actors still didn't have a good comprehension of the English language. Okay?
Okay.
Dogs are bad. Okay. The lion father tells the two to go play a game of kicking a ball, or rather a coconut, back and forth. Alright, so is this one of those movies where the animals walk on all fours, or can they walk on 2? Make up your mind. And then we see a few seconds of monkeys just messing around and wasting our time. And why is there a bear in the jungle and not a usual North American forest? This isn't Noah's Ark, come on now. These two ask the monkeys about the panther's treasure as they tell them to go see some vultures who might know where it is, as their intentions are discovered by the nasally voiced bird assistant to the lion father.
Panther treasure?
Yeah, the vultures told us that it was in a secret hiding place and we want to find it.
Surely you're not allowed to do that. First, I have to ask the king before you go on a search.
Oh, this is something that appears regularly throughout the film. A lot of cutaways to characters just randomly laughing, as well as cutting to scenes of characters just kind of doing things. Anyway, as these two trudge on in search of the panther's treasure, the bird makes its way to alert the father on what's going on.
Adam's gonna find the panther's treasure.
The diamonds, my God!
Hey, Wonao, do not take his name in vain, okay? Language.
The diamonds, my...
Gosh. Thank you, much better.
Up immediately. Do we have to watch you every minute of the day?
Well then take better care of your child and watch after them, you deadbeat. Meanwhile, we see the panther for the first time, as well as his neglected son named Mewtwo. To try and make his father respect him, he says that he'll go find the diamonds himself, but the panther says it's no matter since he'll just send out his Gestapo of gorillas. And this makes perfect sense to me. First Nazi elephants, now this.
Need a volunteer who will scout out the situation in the lion's country. Oh, there.
I can do that. I'm small. Nobody will notice me.
You little baby. They would catch you immediately.
Would not.
That's the thing for an adult man and not a silly child.
You shouldn't talk that way to your son.
And you shouldn't protect him all the time. You're mollycoddling him.
Oh great, another movie that tackles the taboo subject of interspecies relationships. Well, I just want to make my point clear. My personal view on the matter is as follows. I think that...
I didn't clean my teeth. You wanted me to do you too?
Now, I'm not crazy.
But it's important. Otherwise you won't be able to eat, and later you'll get dentures like Uncle Albert.
Since when do jungle creatures that live far away from human civilization need things like dentures? No, call me crazy, but I'm starting to think that this animated cartoon about talking animals might be a little bit far-fetched. The two children disobey their parents and head off to find the diamonds, where they come face to face with one another.
You look like the bad Black Panther who used to lie again and again. My father doesn't lie. Your father, the Black Panther, is your father?
Did nobody think that that was kind of a redundant statement? The two try fighting one another, with animation that repeats itself for a while, until they end up hiding in a cave all scared. But they both end up parting ways and promise to meet each other again the next day, with Dundee tagging along for the treasure, and even bringing along a stolen shovel.
I haven't any friends. Perhaps we could become friends. I don't know. I think we should be enemies.
To be fair, with the current political climate we're all living in, I think that's how most people nowadays feel.
Ooh, where is he? Where's the panther?
Go away. It's only a little panther and he was very nice.
Well, if you thought he was nice, then why did you say that you two should be enemies then?
Where's the panther? Where?
Ran off. He wanted to be my friend.
Friend? A panther? What did he look like? Well,
He didn't look like an old Black Panther.
but like his son, didn't he?
So in other words, the child of the Black Panther looks like the child of a Black Panther.
I haven't seen you for the last 2 days. Where have you been?
And now why are you concerned about your child's well-being when you didn't care about him earlier?
What's the matter with you? Is it because you can't meet that silly panther again?
If you say silly again, I'll...
So first you said that you two should be enemies, then you said that he was nice, and now you're going to threaten your own friend for calling your enemy silly.
I had to sneak away. Me too. I'm sorry we quarreled with one another. Me too.
Oh, is that sweet? I'm just near to tears.
Shut up, Dundee.
The group ends up coming across a cave guarded by a snake who warns them not to go in, but they do anyway, and we see that. Let that sink in. Let it sink in all of its horrendous glory. As Dundee gets captured by the gorilla Gestapo, the bird assistant from earlier discovers the two at the bottom of the cave.
Father has forbidden you to look for diamonds, and you have always met the little panther, too.
Stop blaming me and help instead.
Your bottom needs a beating.
So first we had the debate about interspeciesism, and now we're having the debate about animals disciplining their children. Well, me personally, I think that the bad guys end up getting Dundee to spill the beans and tell them where the treasure, as well as the children, are. And the panther heads down there, not for the sake of saving his child, but by proving that he's smarter than him. No, I'm not kidding, that's actually what he says.
Oh, nobody should be able to say that my son is more intelligent than I am.
Well, if anything, it's good to see that both the lion and the panther are both bad parents in this scenario. Speaking of, the two begin to face off against one another, but the children and the diamonds are saved by the monkeys. Oh, and Dundee escaped. Somehow or other, I guess.
What do you think about an armistice? Huh?
I agree, but just temporarily.
And as the two deadbeat parents try to come to some kind of agreement, the children play moderates and say that the diamonds should be split 50-50, and everyone seems fine with that.
And the rest we'll give to the Society for Endangered Animals.
Wait, what?
Yay! So much better than the ending of Leo the Lion, where the villainous elephant of the movie got captured by those evil poachers at the end.
But it makes no sense. Is this society founded by animals for animals? Or are these animals friends with humans who run the society to help the endangered animals, or...
Whoa now, I'm just happy that some animal rights activism is getting representation in this movie.
And we end on reused animation from the beginning. Some would say that's poetic. Others would say that that's sheer laziness on their part. So what is the moral of this story? Well, as it turns out, there's actually two. Anyone who says that they're your enemy is your friend, and two, don't turn your back on the past because for some reason it can probably be settled through compromise and splitting diamonds 50-50. The end.
Adam's gonna find the panther's treasure.
The diamonds, my God,
Watch your profanity.